Hi everyone, welcome to today's lectures on convolutional neural networks. In the last lecture, we talked about deep neural networks, right? We have input layers, you have the output layers, and then in between you have hidden layer. These circles that are called neurons or node, and then the connection between these neurons are called weight. And a single calculation of a neuron, right, is a linear combination of all the neuron in the previous layer with the weight, and then you add the bias, right? So N1 times W1, right, plus N2 times W2, plus N3 times W3, right? Add plus the bias. You get this value here. You run it through an activation function. The activation function road is to map a linear, this is our linear combination, right, to a maybe nonlinear data, right? And so today lectures, we're going to go over convolutional networks. So first we're going to go over the background, motivation, why we need convolutional networks. And I'm going to go over the main algorithm of convolutional networks. I have a star here, right? So I just memorize this slide over here. And so finally, I'm going to go over some examples that convolutional networks can do. Let's get started. So motivation. Uh, so why do we need convolutional network, right? So first, I'm going to look at these pictures, and it's a letter T, and everyone understand that. But how does machine understand these pictures? So what you can do is you can digitize it. So you can make it 0 and 1. So the black pixel is 1, and then the white pixel is 0. But then now the question is, how does a neural network can understand this? You don't need a neural network to understand this, by the way. If you can also just use algorithm, right? You can say like, if the top pixel are black, and then like the middle vertically are black, and then the rest is white to 0, 0, then it's a T. But then, is it's handwritten, then it's a small T in the corner, then it's hard to capture that with a regular algorithm. We're going to use a neural networks. Then how does neural networks understand this, right? Because last time we learned it intake of vectors, not a pictures. And so what you can do is you can flatten this pictures, this matrix into a single layer, right? So you look at this. This first row is all one, that's one, one. Then the second row is going to be like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, and then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? The one in the middle. Then you repeat that for every single row, right? And because it's a 9 by 9 matrix, you're going to have 81 neurons in this layer. Then you can feed that through a deep neural networks, and then you're done. You figure out, you train it, and then you let it learn that it's a letter T. And it works. It actually works pretty well for small image. But once it a big image, it doesn't work very well. Two main problems, right? The first problem is that this layer will get extremely large. If you this is a 9 by 9 pixel. If you think an image nowadays, like a video nowadays, like 4K resolution, right? So you have like minimum four, like a lot of pixel, with like 2000 times at least 2000 times 2000 pixel is already in the millions, like so millions of neurons over here. And if this is too big, it's computationally costly, and so it's not going to work very well when you feed that through a deep neural networks. And the second problem is the spatial awareness, right? Spatial awareness, what do I mean by spatial awareness? There's a theorem in pictures that every pixel is likely to be covered, to be surrounded by similar pixel. So you look at 0 over here, it's surrounded by 0, right? So it's just a theorem. There'll be likely more pixels that are surrounded by the similar pixel than the other way. So if you count all the 0 here, there'll be more 0 that are surrounded by 0, right? So but But that when you flatten it out, it doesn't really capture this local spatial awareness. And so to solve this, what we have is a convolutional networks, right? Now I'm gonna go next to the main algorithm, how a convolutional neural networks works. So in a convolutional networks, we already know what a neural network is. Now the question is, what is convolutional, right? We can look back to the word convolution all the way back to multivariable calculus in the convolution function. So this is the convolution in a continuous function. So we're going to have f as the original function, g is the future function, and f star g is just mean that f convolution with g is going to be defined as the integral from negative infinity to infinity of f of tau times g of t minus tau d tau. And so visually you can see this, the original function, right, f of t is the blue function. The future function is going to be the red one, the g of t minus tau, and it's the future function going to go from left to right, negative infinity to infinity. It's going to scan through the original function, right? And then the resultant function, the convolution of f from g, is going to be the function that represent the area under the curve overlap between the original function f of t and the future function g of t. Okay? So this is the convolution, the mathematical convolution, fully mathematical in continuous function. Now if you look at discrete convolution, right? So we're moving on from continuous to discrete. Now instead of the original function, we're going to have a original matrix, okay? And then instead of the future function, we also have a future, but this future is not continuous anymore. We have a future matrix, right? So this is like nine pixel or 3 by 3 matrix is the future matrix. And you also see the same ideas, right? You move the future matrix across every single pixel in the original matrix, and then you can map the output from that, right? It's the overlap between the original matrix and the future matrix that gives you the convolution. So how do you do this, right? If you look at a single calculation, it basically the dot product of every single component in the matrix. So if you look at this future matrix right here, it's going to be centered at 7, right? And then it's basically just multiply element wise together, right? So you can see this is 0 times 7, 0 times 7, negative 1 times 7, 0 times 6, 0 times 6, right? Negative 1 times 7, negative 1 times 7, 5 times 7, 5 times 7, negative 1 times 6, negative 1 here times 6, 0 times 6, 0 here times 6 here, negative 1 times 6, negative 1 times 6, and 0 times 4, 0 times 4, right? Then you add them all up, you get 9. And 9 is the first value over here, which is also the value over here, right? Then you repeat that for every single node or neurons in this matrix, and then you get the convolution. For convolutional networks, so this is pure mathematical discrete convolution, right? But in the application of convolutional networks, there's two nodes. The first one is the padding is 0. So what do I mean by padding? Padding is the value outside the edge right here. So if you inside, it's kind of easy, right? But if you're on the edge, you have this value that doesn't exist. So in a pure mathematical discrete convolution, it's just going to be the replicate of the value next to it, right? Addition value. But in a convolutional networks, these are just going to be 0. And the reason for that is because the the neural network is going to learn the weight unbiased anyway, so it doesn't, it's after testing, it just doesn't help. So with making the value identical, so just put 0 and make it easy for everyone. And the second note is you can do multiple filter. Right? So you can run multiple of these. And also in a convolutional networks, what you're training is you're training this filter right here. So you want a filter that can capture a certain feature of the original matrix. All right, so this is another way you can look at the convolutional layer. So the neurons, right, this node in the next layer is a linear combination of certain neurons in the previous layer. So not all neurons, just a certain neuron, specifically the neuron that just like directly in front of it, and then the neighboring neurons, right? So if you compare it with a fully connected, it's a regular network in a convolutional layer, it's selecting a certain amount of neurons, right? It doesn't select everything. It doesn't affect from everything. It's only affect from the neighboring one. While in a fully connected layer or a regular neural networks, the neuron in the next layer is calculated from the linear combination of every single neuron from the previous layer, right? So you can see the difference here. It's just these neighboring one that matters for this pixel. It captures the local spatial awareness, right? Yeah. And after we do a convolution, now we have most thing to start assembly to get a full neural networks. So first we're going to do a convolution. So we capture certain feature in the layer and run it through activation function for non-linearity purpose. And then we can continue doing that. After that, we can repeat that. We can do another convolution and run it through activation function. And so every time we do this, we capture feature in that layer, that dimension, right? And we do it until we think that we already capture everything we can capture in that dimension. Then we're going to do what's called pooling. We're going to decrease the dimension. Just really quick on pooling. Pooling is basically a way to decrease dimension. So we have a 6 by 6 matrix here, right? We want to decrease it to 3 by 3 matrix. So what we do is we divide it by 9 equal sections, okay? And in each section, so in this case, right, this section over here, we're going to look at the highest number, which is 22. We're going to pick that for the reduced dimension layer. And we repeat this for this one, right? The highest one is going to be 23. So 23 over here. We look at this part right here. The highest one is 11. We're going to pick 11 right here. And we repeat that for all the other sections. Right? We pick the highest number, and then we're going to get the value over here. So it reduces the dimension, and then it captures certain information. And now we have everything. We can assemble a full convolutional networks. Right? We have the input, and then we can run it through pooling, pooling and then activation function, everything. Then you feed it to a fully connected layers. You flatten it out, connect to fully connected layer, and then we get the output. Right? So that's the main algorithm. Next, we're going to go over some simple application examples. So the first case, this is just how you see the convolution run in this is number 0, right? So just to show you, so this is a original function, original matrix, right? And then this is the future convolution. And so if you run that, and then this is the top edge future, so it's going to be able to capture the feature that the top edge is going to be with higher value, right? And the bottom edge is very low value. Then it's also the top edge of the lower lie. This is the bottom edge, is lower value, right? So it's able to capture the feature of that. Okay. So neural numbers. So it's very good with pictures, right? So we're able to draw numbers here, right? 3, and we're gonna know it's 3. It's basically a convolutional networks, and then is give me probability, right? So the 5 right here, right? Okay. Okay, and that's the end of this lectures. Thank you for listening.